Welcome inside the CEC TV studios for the latest edition of Trailblazer Weekly. It was another busy week last week with all the spring sports in action. We'll also take a look at some highlights from the spring football game. We've got all the results for you today on the show, as well as a look ahead at the next week in Trailblazer athletics. It's all coming up next, so don't go anywhere. Trailblazer Weekly starts now. Again, welcome inside this week's edition of Trailblazer Weekly. I'm your host, Carrick Segmiller. We opened the show today on the softball diamond, where the Trailblazers headed to the Bay Area for 6 games last week. Dixie State opened its trip on Wednesday with a non-conference doubleheader at Cal State East Bay in Hayward, California. The Trailblazers edged the Pioneers 2-1 in the first game as Cambry Hazel tossed her 4th no-hitter of the year with 7 strikeouts. Corey Gahn broke a 4-4 tie in Game 2 with a 2-run home run in the 5th inning, and DSU held on to win that game 8-5. Dixie State then headed to Moraga, California for a Pac-West doubleheader versus Holy Names on Thursday. Trailblazers cruised to a 9-0 win in Game 1 and an 8-0 win in Game 2. DSU didn't allow a single hit defensively, while Caitlin DeLaying had her best game of the year, going 3 for 3 with 5 RBIs in Game 1. The Trailblazers wrapped up the trip with a doubleheader at Dominican. Dixie State needed extra innings to take down the Penguins in Game 1 on Saturday. Jessica Gonzalez hit the first Trailblazer grand slam of the year in the 8th inning, while Hazel tossed another no-hitter with a career-high 14 strikeouts, and DSU held on for a 5-0 win. Dixie State flipped the script around in Game 2, scoring early and often for an 11-2 win to go 6-0 on the trip. For her performance on the trip, Cambry Hazel was named Pac-West Softball Pitcher of the Week for the 4th time this season on Monday. Hazel tossed 20 2/3 hitless innings with 25 strikeouts as the Trailblazers swept through their Bay Area trip. Hazel bookended the trip with a pair of no-hitters as she opened the trip with a complete game no-hitter with 7 strikeouts over Cal State East Bay on Wednesday, like we talked about. She also earned her 4th save of the year in the nightcap against Cal State East Bay. Hazel tossed 4 perfect innings with 3 strikeouts in the opener at Holy Names on Thursday. She then closed the trip with that 8-inning no-hitter and career-high 14 strikeouts versus Dominican on Saturday. Hazel has now thrown 21 1/3 consecutive scoreless innings for Dixie State, bringing her ERA on the season down to 0.92 with 103 strikeouts and 91.2 innings. Dixie State is now 32-4 overall, 16-4 in Pac-West play, and welcomes number 17 California Baptist on Friday and Saturday in a crucial Pac-West series this weekend at Carl Brooks Field. So be sure to come on out, support the softball team in that. Major conference championship implications in that 4-game series against California Baptist this weekend. Be sure to come out and support the softball team. We stay on the diamond as the baseball team wrapped up a 12-game homestand with a 4-game series versus Fresno Pacific at Brucehurst Field last week. Trailblazers opened the series in style on Thursday and rolled to a 13-3 win. Joe Raymond enjoyed a career day with his first collegiate home run and 3 RBIs. Fresno Pacific looked to flip the script in a doubleheader on Friday, jumping out to a 5-0 lead in Game 1. DSU got 2 runs back in the 6th inning, but still trailed 5-2 heading to the bottom of the ninth. And then the magic happened. DSU loaded the bases, then tied the game on an RBI single, RBI walk, and sacrifice fly. Then with runners on 2nd and 3rd, Joe Raymond drove a walk-off single to left field to clinch the 6-5 win. We've got that highlight for you, so let's take a look at Joe Raymond's walk-off single. The 0-2 line drive, left field side. The game is over. Walk-off single for Joe Raymond. How about that? The Trailblazers win it in walk-off fashion. Joe Raymond back-to-back-to-back singles to help the Trailblazers win. The Sunbirds would get even in Game 2 of that doubleheader, winning 12-3, but Dixie State would bounce back on Saturday to clinch the series win with a 7-5 win in Game 4. DSU is now 18-20 overall and back to 500 in Pac-West play at 14-14. Should also note and congratulate Jagan Levitt, who was announced on Monday, the Pac-West baseball freshman of the week. So congratulations to the baseball team and to Jagan Levitt for garnering those Pac-West freshman of the week honors. To the golf course now as the men's golf team headed to Arizona last week for the Western New Mexico Mustang Intercollegiate. Trailblazers entered last Tuesday's final round in a 3-way tie for 3rd place and were locked in a 3-team battle with Colorado School of Mines and Colorado Springs. However, thanks to a school tying 13 under, including 3 under par over the final 3 holes combined. DSU won the event with a school record-breaking 54-hole score of 25 under. Junior Nicholas Britt led the Trailblazer effort as he rolled in a career-high 10 birdies on his way to his career and DSU school-tying record 9 under 63 to finish tied atop the leaderboard at -12 with UCCS player Jack DeGuide. Britt, who started the day tied for 16th overall, then capped off the day by defeating DeGuide with a par on the first playoff hole to capture his first collegiate individual tournament title. Britt, who was also named Pac-West Men's Golfer of the Week on Thursday, penciled in birdies on 4 of his first 5 holes and had 6 birdies on his opening 9 to make the turn at 5 under 31. He then collected 4 more birdies, including birdies on 17 and 18, which helped salt away the Trailblazer victory. Britt's 63 tied his previous career best round set during the second round of the 2017 Pac-West Conference Championships, while his 204 54-hole score is the second best score in the program's 4-year era, behind only his 202 set at the Pac-West Championships last year. To the football field now as Dixie State closed its spring practice schedule on Saturday with its annual spring game at Trailblazer Stadium. It was an exciting time with highlights on both sides of the ball. The best part, we've got all those highlights for you right here. Let's roll the tape and enjoy the Dixie State football spring game highlights. Dixie State will open fall camp in August and opens this season on September 1st at Colorado State Pueblo in Pueblo, Colorado. Certainly was a fun time at the spring game on Saturday. Looking forward to the 2018 football season. To the tennis court now as the Trailblazers wrapped up their regular season with a 3-match trip to Colorado. The Trailblazers opened the trip with back-to-back 9-0 sweeps first over Colorado Christian on Thursday, followed by a sweep of CSU Pueblo on Saturday. Dixie State then dropped the 63 battle to Metro State Denver on Sunday in the final match of the trip. Frances Hina Goldsmith went undefeated in singles play on the trip and has won 7 consecutive singles matches overall. I should also note Lacey Hancock jumped into the ITA Division II National Singles Rankings last week at number 60. Trailblazers will now head to Surprise, Arizona for the 2018 Pac-West Championships beginning on April 18th. To the track now as the Dixie State women's track team competed in the Utah Weber State Spring Classic on Friday and Saturday in Salt Lake City and Ogden, Utah. The meet kicked off on Friday at the University of Utah in Salt Lake City. 3 Trailblazers set new personal bests on the first day. Noelle Haley set a new personal best in the 800 meter with a time of 2:27.67, while Mia Smith finished with a new personal best time of 2:29.13. Sarah Hinsey recorded the third personal best mark of the first day of competition, crossing the finish line with a time of 1:14.67 in the 400 meter hurdles. The meet shifted further north to Weber State and Ogden for the second day of competition. 2 DSU school records fell on the second day. First, Katie Ross narrowly eclipsed her own time in the 200 meter with a time of 27.1. For the second straight week, a new school record fell on the 5,000 meter. Skylar Story set the new mark, crossing the finish line in 5th place with a time of 18:38.53 for DSU's lone top 5 finish of the weekend. The mark bested her previous personal best in the event by more than a full minute. It was nearly 40 seconds better than the previous record. Trailblazers return to northern Utah this coming Friday and Saturday now for the Utah State Mark Waldmo Invite in Logan. Quick note on women's golf before we head to break. The Trailblazers are currently in Goodyear, Arizona for the Western New Mexico Mustang Intercollegiate. Now, this is the women's side of the tournament that the men won last week. Dixie State was tied for 11th place on its first round on Monday and will finish up play today, which is Tuesday. We'll have the final results for you on DixieStateAthletics.com. It's time for our first break. When we come back, we'll wrap up the show with a look ahead at the next week in Trailblazer Athletics. There's more Trailblazer Weekly right after this timeout.
Radio Dixie 91.3. We don't play that. Nope, not that. A big fat no there. That's what we play. And stuff like that. On St. George's only alternative, Radio Dixie 91.3. Oh, and from 9 till midnight, we play this. I need a one dance. And this. Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
There we are. Hi, I'm Eric Young.
And I'm Jennifer Kohler.
And this is, we're coming to you right before our show that we go live with Talking Point Live. And we just wanted to tell you to make sure you join us Wednesdays at 9:30, live coming to you from the studios of the CEC here on the campus of Dixie State University.
Yeah, and you can catch the rebroadcast at 9:30 when we're not live, and 12:30 and 4:30. Daily, weekly.
Daily? This is like way too much,
yeah.
I think. But just in case you got something better to do,
yeah,
there's all those times you can catch it as well. Also, you can catch us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/talkingpointlive and on the CEC YouTube channel. All right, see you there.
We're basically very catchable.
Well, you are.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel, someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
Where do you find the titans of classical music in St. George? Classical music on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM. Where do you find the legends of jazz? Evenings on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM.
Welcome back inside the CEC TV studios in this week's edition of Trailblazer Weekly. Most of the spring sports are in action again this week, so let's take a look ahead at where they're at and who they'll be competing against. Jumping into it, you can follow along on your screen. It starts, of course, with that women's golf tournament we mentioned earlier, finishing up today in Goodyear, Arizona, and then a couple of days off for Dixie State Athletics, and then jumping in to a fairly busy weekend. Women's track heading up to Logan, Utah to participate in the Utah State Mark Faldmo Invite. That will be Friday and Saturday, as you see on your screen. And then the big one, softball, number 7th ranked right now in the country. Now the new rankings will come out on Wednesday, and so probably Dixie State's ranking and California Baptist ranking will change before this doubleheader takes place. But right now, as it sits, it'll be number 7 Dixie State hosting number 17 California Baptist in a Pac-West doubleheader on or 4-game series with doubleheaders first on Friday beginning at 3 p.m. at Carl Brooks Field, and then into Saturday, the first game of the doubleheader there starts at noon. So it's a 4-game series which has major conference title implications. Dixie State trails California Baptist by 2 full games in the conference standing right now. So really you need take either 3 of 4 or a sweep would be nice for Dixie State in this top 20 matchup. Going to be a good time. We'll have the games for you on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Dixie State Athletics. Also live stats. But if you can, why don't you get out and see the games right from Carl Brooks Field. That will do it for this week's schedule. We'll have all the results for you next time on Trailblazer Weekly, as well as on DixieStateAthletics.com. And that will do it for today's show. I'm Carrick Segmiller. Remind you that you can catch all episodes of Trailblazer Weekly on demand on the Dixie State Athletics YouTube page. That is youtube.com/Dixie State Athletics, where you can watch the show anytime, anywhere. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Trailblazer Weekly.